I think one of the darkest moments we had was one night in the NICU, and I was there by myself. Laura was still in the hospital. One of the doctors said, hey, we'll start taking him off stuff and we'll just see if he makes it through the night. And from that moment on, when I was faced with the reality that I got to see if Jackson can make it on his own now while they do this, anything other than that scenario became better in my life. So, you know, my prayers that night were, I don't care what Jackson ends up being, just give me Jackson. Just let Jackson make it through this night. Let him fight through this. And I'll take care of everything else from there. We'll figure it out from there.
When he was actually 6 months old, we went to a developmental physician who was also an occupational therapist, and she said to me at that point, he's met the 7 criteria that we look for a kid to be diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And the type of CP that she felt like he would have, she had gone ahead and told me. I blocked it for a really long time. And then I just came to the point that I'm either gonna have to embrace it and redefine it for us, or I'm gonna have to be okay with just what it is. My heart was bursting at the seams. Just seeing what kind of life potential he could have from this point. He was defying what so many of the doctors had said his potential would be, and making huge strides at those goals of becoming an independent kid. I don't know how you could put it into words. Coming home was a little fearful because I knew that we didn't have the support that he was going to need to be able to continue on with this. But at the same time it was fearful, it was an enlightening point for us in our lives, trying to figure out, you know, now we've seen it work, we know he's motivated by it, how can we take him that next step?
You know, once we opened the Jackson Center and we got through the initial shock that not only could we open a center, but we could open a full-time center, we started off with, you know, 6, 7, 8 kids, and, you know, by Christmas we had 13 kids, and, you know, by the next summer program it had spread a little bit further, and next thing we know we've got 20 kids, and I think at one point we had over 30 kids in a one-room conductive education facility. It looked like a zoo coming in and out of there. So what we immediately realized is the pent-up demand and the desire that families have for children with cerebral palsy to find something different, and there wasn't anything different at the time. And nobody was really offering our families hope. Nobody was offering our families encouragement. Nobody was saying, wait a minute, your kids can do so much more than what we're giving them credit for.
The Jackson Center and conductive education, I kind of look at conductive education as it provided the pathway to that road for independence for Jackson. Without the Jackson Center, he wouldn't be able to have conductive education, or it'd be a pretty lonely world. He may be the only kid, you know, getting conductive education, and who wants that? He needs a sense of camaraderie around him and a support system around him that we can't provide. But I think both conductive education and the Jackson Center has opened up our lives to see what the potential is in him, and to push those boundaries.
When there's nothing available and you're stuck with regular programming and you're stuck fighting the battles on your own, your fears begin to overcome your hope. And so I think when we see positive results and we hear of the minor victories that become major emotional wins, hope becomes alive. And you start to think not what my child isn't doing right now, but what my child just did, that now he becomes capable of doing so much more in the future. And so hope for us is maybe not so much just a word as it is a way of life.
The Jackson Center, in my eyes, provides a ray of hope in the dark clouds that we get and have when we have kids with cerebral palsy and getting that diagnosis. It's the family, it's the support, it's the shoulder to cry on, it's the kick in the pants, and most of all, it's the love.